All right. So, want to provide a little presentation on the affirmative asylum process for the United States. If you wish to apply for asylum, this is the process in which you must have to go through in order to do so. Let's get going. How do you apply for asylum in the United States through the affirmative asylum process? This information does not apply to you if you are seeking asylum through an asylum merits interview with USCIS after a positive credible fear determination, meaning you were placed in expedited removal proceedings. You received a positive credible fear determination, and USCIS retained your asylum application for further consideration in an in an asylum merits interview, or the defensive asylum process, meaning you are in removal proceedings before an immigration judge. Those two bases will not allow you to seek asylum through the affirmative process. Step one, arrive in the United States. To apply for asylum in the US, you must be physically present in the United States. You have to be physically present. That is your first step. You cannot apply for asylum if you are in another country, your home country, or a third country. Okay? Step two, you're ready to apply, and you apply for asylum because now you're in the United States. So to apply for asylum, you should file Form I-589, application for asylum and for withholding of removal, with USCIS within 1 year. Within 1 year of your arrival in the United States, unless you qualify for an exception to the 1 year filing deadline. And there are very limited exceptions that if you need assistance, we can speak with you about that. If you fail to file Form I-589 within 1 year of your arrival in the United States, you may not be eligible to apply for asylum under Section 208 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Do not submit a completed fingerprint card or fingerprint fee with your Form I-589. USCIS will accept your Form I-589 without an attached fingerprint card. Bars to applying for asylum, meaning you are not eligible to apply for asylum. You may not be eligible to apply for asylum if you did not follow the 1 year filing deadline for Form I-589. The 1 year deadline is calculated from the date of your last arrival in the United States. Also, you had a previous asylum application denied by an immigration judge or the Board of Immigration Appeals, or can be removed to a safe third country under a two-party or multi-party agreement between the United States and other countries. There are exceptions to these bars for changed circumstances or extraordinary circumstances. Now, that is on a case-by-case basis. So if you feel you meet those extraordinary circumstances or changed circumstances, you might want to speak to a lawyer. Once USCIS has received a completed application, you will receive two notices: acknowledgement of receipt of your application and notice to visit your nearest application support center for fingerprinting. Application Support Center, you will see as ACS abbreviated. Step three, fingerprinting and background security checks. You should read the ASC appointment notice and take it with you to your fingerprinting appointment at the Application Support Center. You do not need to pay a fingerprinting fee as an asylum applicant. If you are also requesting asylum status for your spouse and children, and they are with you in the United States, which is a requirement to physically be here, they will need to go with you to your ASC appointment. Step 4, receive an interview notice. Depending on where you live, USCIS will schedule you for an interview with an asylum officer at either a USCIS asylum office or a USCIS field office, which is also known as circuit ride location. Your interview notice will tell you the date, location, and time of your asylum interview. For asylum applicants who live far from an asylum office or an asylum subhub, asylum offices schedule asylum interviews at USCIS field offices, circuit ride locations. As resources permit, please contact the asylum office with jurisdiction over your case for more detailed information about the scheduling of your interview. Now, step 5, the interview. You may bring an attorney or accredited representative to the interview. You must also bring your spouse and any children seeking derivative asylum benefits to the interview. If you cannot proceed with the interview in English, you must bring an interpreter. The interview will generally last about 1 hour, although the time may vary depending on the case. You may also bring witnesses to testify on your behalf. Step 6, asylum officer makes determination on eligibility and supervisory asylum officer reviews the decision. You must meet the definition of a refugee in order to be eligible for asylum. The asylum officer will determine whether you are eligible to apply for asylum, meet the definition of refugee, are barred from being granted asylum under Section 208B2 of the INA. A supervisory asylum officer reviews the asylum officer's decision to ensure it is consistent with the law. Depending on the case, a supervisory asylum officer may refer the decision to asylum division staff at USCIS headquarters for additional review. Step 7, receive your decision. In most cases, you will return to the asylum office to pick up the decision 2 weeks after the asylum officer interviewed you. Longer processing times may be required if you are currently in valid immigration status, you were interviewed at a USCIS field office, have pending security checks, or have a case that is being reviewed by asylum division staff at USCIS headquarters. USCIS will normally mail you your decision to you in these situations. You may also check case status online. All you need is the receipt number that USCIS mailed you after you filed your application. Now, these are the steps to affirmative asylum application. Follow these steps. If you have any questions, you may contact our office. You can reach me, Attorney Wilberforce Agyekum at Ivy Law Office. You can call me at 301-276-0887, 301-276-0887, or you can find me on our website at www.ivylawoffice.com. Okay? Thank you very much for stopping by and hanging out with me. If you have questions, give me a call.